Good morning, and welcome to your morning cereal. Okay, good morning, and welcome to Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. How are you feeling? Does it feel like you're on the downhill side of the week, or is there still a horizon or two to chase? Well, if the week still has a heavy lift, perhaps this will help lighten your load. Today is National Unicorn Day. I'm guessing you probably already knew that, but what better way to lighten the load than to celebrate the most popular mythical creature ever, one that symbolizes happiness, fantasy, and wonder. It inspires childlike wonder and magic. Or maybe they just look cool on birthday cakes and t-shirts. Either way, happy National Unicorn Day. By the way, do any of you remember the 80s cartoon called The Last Unicorn? It had like a scary red bull in it. It's kind of anime. Well, not the point. Enjoy the day. Here's the quote of the day from Andrew Lloyd Webber, who's talking about paying attention to the details and seeing things through. He said, quote, "What strikes me is that there's a fine line between success and failure. Just one ingredient can make the difference." End quote. Well, today's news, facts, and birthdays are for April 9th. We're going to start back in 1959 when on this date, the Boston Celtics ended their sweep of the Minnesota Lakers in 4 games. This would be the first of Boston Celtics' record 8 straight titles. Next, do you remember flying TWA Airlines? If so, you're showing some maturity if you do. Well, on this date in 2001, that's when American Airlines officially completed its acquisition of Trans World Airlines and became the world's largest airline. Then in 2005, then Prince Charles, he married Camilla Parker Bowles. And as we all know, Charles was formerly married to Diana, Princess of Wales. So this would be his second marriage, making him the first member of the British royal family to have a civil wedding. And then lastly, in 2012, The Lion King became the highest ever grossing Broadway show. And can you guess who it overtook? It overtook The Phantom of the Opera, one of my personal favorites. Well, happy birthday to you. If your birthday is today, you share a birthday with actress Kristen Stewart, she's 35, actress Cynthia Nixon, she's 59, and actor Dennis Quaid, he's 71. And the number one song on this date in 1987 was Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship. Now, this song appeared on the soundtrack of the 1987 movie Mannequin, and it was nominated for a Best Original Song Oscar. It was a great song, although it lost the Oscar that year to the song I've Had the Time of My Life from the movie Dirty Dancing. These are some serious 80s classics here. Well, how about we dive into our book review of the classic Stephen R. Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And as you recall, in this first chapter, Inside Out, Covey is discussing the difference between character traits, which focuses on character qualities like integrity, temperaments, patience, modesty, versus personality ethic, which Covey believes is persuasive in today's society, and it teaches more superficial, quick fix techniques. Covey is pointing out that the character of who we are speaks much louder than what we say we are. So still in chapter 1 and moving into another subchapter here, the power of a paradigm. Covey dissects the social paradigm, which he describes as the way we perceive the world, the way we understand and interpret it. He uses the illustration of thinking of paradigms as a roadmap in our head in how we see the world. If we have the wrong map, then diligence to work harder or a more positive attitude, that's not going to get us to the right destination, right? Covey says we have 2 primary maps in our head. The first map is the way things are, our realities. And then the second map is the way things should be. Those are our values. And quote, we interpret everything we experience through these mental maps, end quote. These realities and values that we see the world through, we assume that we are seeing things that the way they are. And then, quote, our attitudes and our behaviors grow out of these assumptions, end quote. So here's the rub. Each of our mental maps of reality and our values can be different from someone else's, because these mental maps, our realities, our values, have been conditioned over a lifetime of experiences by, quote, influences in our lives: family, school, church, work, environment, friends, associates, current social paradigms, end quote. You follow, right? If the realities and values that these maps in our heads in which we perceive our worlds are all specific to our individual experiences, then, quote, two people can see the same thing, disagree, and yet both be right. It's not logical, it's psychological, end quote. Think of the different news channels right now, right? Oftentimes stating the same facts. And Covey says, quote, each person's interpretation of these facts represents prior experiences, and the facts have no meaning whatsoever apart from the interpretation, end quote. That people have been conditioned, right? These people have been conditioned to see those facts from their prior experiences. So the question then is, are any of us really objective? Covey suggests, quote, we see the world not as it is, but as we are, or as we are conditioned to see it, end quote. So can we be objective? Yes, we can be, but we must become more aware of our basic paradigms, our mental maps, right? The reality and the values that influence our own experiences and behaviors, and then become more open to the larger picture that other perceptions and perspectives exist outside of our own. So Covey brings this back around to personality ethic, positive thinking and techniques, and he points out the flaw, saying, quote, to try and change outward attitudes and behaviors does very little good in the long run if we fail to examine the basic paradigms from which those attitudes and behaviors flow, end quote. Well, there's a lot to digest there about making change in ourselves on a deeper, a more foundational level. So come back tomorrow as we jump into the next subchapter, the power of a paradigm shift. Hey, happy hump day, folks. Thanks for joining us today. Come back tomorrow and have a fantastic day. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Morning Serial podcast on the One Life Live It channel. You can find more episodes and videos by visiting our YouTube channel and the website at Sean Inglis and at SeanInglis.com, where you can also follow our other podcasts, the Mr. and Mrs. Inglis podcast and the Life Happens podcast. In these other podcasts, we'll dive deeper into everyday issues, self-improvement and well-being, business and finance, and we welcome special guests too. So join us. It'll be a good time, I promise. Thanks again for listening. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow.